Well, it's Wednesday, and you all know what that means. If you probably know right about now, New Japan just begun their latest tour, New Japan Seoul 2025. So we have many matches taking place. Some are preliminary matches we're definitely going to see, but also we're entering the aftermath after what happened in Dominion. So a lot of things could happen from here on out. And then we move on, of course, with WWE Evolve. As you probably can guess, as you probably know right about now, well, our newer champions, Kali Armstrong as our women's Evolve champion, is now the target number one by, of course, Zayda Steel and Nikkita Lyons, but she'll be teaming up with Natalya in this match. But the real question is, can they coexist? That's a very good question. However, in this particular day, Sean Legacy, who feels that he deserves a title shot, well, he put himself in a very big predicament. And then we have, of course, a WWED showcase event between Marcus Mathers and Jordan Oasis. So we'll see how things are progressing in that. And then finally, AEW made their way to Arena Mexico, of course, which is the home of CML, where they had many of their awesome matches and moments in that. But now it's AEW's turn to make their moment. We will see talent from CML as well participating in this event. So let's see how things will roll up. And as usual, we'll cap up our episode, as always, with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are thrown out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK. Anywhere in the world pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough with the jibber jabbers. Let's get going. So, let's begin with New Japan Pro Wrestling, New Japan Seoul. Alright, New Japan has started their latest tour, New Japan Seoul, and this is right coming off from Dominion. Of course, we saw what happened. We saw the effing House of Losers once again got away with it, and this time adding new members. Two of them formerly from Bullet Club, and one, well, we all thought he was about in the straight and narrow, but looks like he just didn't care anymore. So, yeah. So a lot of things will happen from here on out. Now, let's move on with our first match. We have, of course, the Young Lions. But however, there was an added thing I didn't notice until I saw it. We have Zane J versus Tatsuya Matsumoto. Yeah, so these are the young lions. Now, however, many of you may not know this. Zane J, he has appeared mostly at the New Japan Academy, and of course, many of their showcase events they have there, including their American shows. So he made his way down to Japan to study at the dojo, of course, and it's great to see him. So, for those who know this or not, when you're learning something in New Japan, you are not allowed to wear your gear until you earned it right. So basically, you have to kind of like, for those who are karate experts, you know what I'm talking about. If you are in fact a black belt karate, and you're basically are in someone else's dojo, you basically have to respect the sensei that you have to wear white or something like that. Because here's the thing: when I was learning martial arts, there was a student of my martial arts instructor who, in fact, of course, had to wear white, the white belt, sign of respect to show him that he's still learning some new things in some ways, and I think it was pretty interesting. So yeah, that's the whole thing. But however, of course, when it comes to young lions, they're limited to use many of the, of course, of the move sets. Like they're only allowed to use the Boston Crab as their submission and certain things. But however, you probably would have thought that's how it would end when it comes to young lions. But unfortunately, this match ended in a time limit draw after 10 minutes. So practically that's how it goes. So we'll see how things will roll between these two guys. So we'll say follow. Now we continue with more of the young lions. We have Daiki Nagai versus Masatora Yasada. Now, what's interesting is this: I had a feeling that this one was going to go with Nagai for many reasons. Nagai is already up ahead of course, Yasada in every possible way, because if you guys notice, he didn't debut until a little later. So that kind of figured that it was going to go. And as I mentioned before, young lions are trained to use limited sources in order to do when they're wrestling. And of course, Nagai actually applied the Boston Crab, and just like that, he picked up the win by tap out from, of course, Yasada. So good job from there. Next up, we have Shomakato teaming up with Master Wato, Yo, and Toroyano to take on, surprise, surprise, the House of Losers, of course. Yeah. Doiki, Sho, Yujiro Takahashi, and Reniria. Now, of course, that effing scumbag Sho, once again, being a cocky little, smug little bastard that he is. I don't know what he said, but of course, he's laughing his butt off that, of course, I enjoy taking these belts off of you, you losers. Well, he's a loser, just to let you guys know, because that's what he is. And of course, when it comes to House of Loser, these idiots like to cheat. That's always been their game. But of course, in this case, Doiki really, really, got Wato's number. He didn't cheat. He knew exactly where to hurt him. If you guys remember, Wato was out for a while from an injury on his knee, and he exploited that. So once again, Doiki got him. And I'm sure, of course, Doiki, Wato, and Yo will get their revenge on them soon enough. Now we got the other House of Losers, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Sanada, Don Fale, Chase Owens, and Evil taking on Katsuya Murashima, Tomoaki Hamna, Togi Makabe, Yoshihashi, and Bolton Oleg. Now, of course, it's no secret. If I was House of Torture, I would definitely gun for the Never Openweight title. That is something I'm sure they're trying to obtain the belt. Remember, Evil had that belt hostage, but now he doesn't have it. I wouldn't be surprised if he aimed for it. But in the end, of course, this match ended with Sanada applying the skull end on, of course, on Murashima, and just like that, it was over. Next up, we have the United Empire, Jacob Austin Young, Cal Newman, and Great Khan taking on, of course, Ryusuke Taguchi, Yuya Uemura, and one half of the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, Taichi. Now remember, Taichi, along with the Stone Pitbull, Tomohiro Ishii, won these tag belts from the United Empire. I'm sure, of course, the United Empire would definitely try to get those belts back. That's something I'm sure they're looking forward to it. But however, they got to be more careful when it comes to the Gucci, because he's the kind of guy that he wants to have a bit of fun. But in the end, it was, of course, Yuya Uemura, who I felt people were saying this, including the Japanese commentators, because they mentioned the high-five flow. It looked more like how he was intending to apply it. Now, I don't know what Tanahashi would say about that, but if he gave him his blessing to use it, then fine, that's cool. But we haven't heard anything yet about that, but we'll see. But as of right now, I think let's keep moving forward. Our next match, we have Tiger Mask, Tomohiro Ishii, um, Hiroshi Tanahashi teaming up. They take on the Bullet Club War Dogs, more specifically Geto, Drilla Maloney, and Gabe Kidd. Now, you can consider this one as a preliminary match between Gabe Kidd and Tanahashi. Now, remember, Tanahashi has challenged Gabe Kidd for the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship, and that's something we're definitely going to get to see. Now, of course, Gabe Kidd, he's always been the kind of guy who backs up what he says. But in the end of this match, it was in fact Ishii that picked up the win with the vertical brain buster onto Geto, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Next up, we have TMDK, Hartley Jackson, Rohei Oiwa, and Zack Sabre Jr. taking on Shota Umino, El Phantasmo, and Hiroki Goto, our current IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. Now remember, Zack Sabre Jr. is the one who is now issuing the challenge for that belt. So you can say this is another preliminary match that will lead to the next encounter. Now the real question, who walks out as the momentum? Well, in this case, it was El Phantasmo who walked away with the win when he applied the Thunder Kiss 86 onto Hartley Jackson. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, ELP, Umino, and Goto picked up the win. So it was a lot of fun. So I think it was a pretty good one. But there will be more of this latest tour, the New Japan Soul. So stay tuned for more of that. But as of right now, we are done with this. Let's move on with WWE Evolve. Okay, WWE Evolve. We opened up with women's tag team action. Zayda Steel and Nikkita Lyons. They take on Kali Armstrong and Natalya. Now remember, guys, Kali Armstrong is the inaugural and first ever Evolve Women's Champion. Now, that makes that she'll be targeted by people who will love nothing more to strip that belt off of her. But the real question is who will take a crack at it. Now, we know Zayda Steel and Nikkita Lyons are gunning for it. But recently she has been, let's say, Natalya has been watching her, and she showed a bit of disrespect to her sort of recently as well. Now, the real question we ask ourselves in this match, can they coexist? It seemed like in this match they did coexist there very well. But there was a moment, of course, we saw Natalya tag herself in, and Kali Armstrong had the watch where, of course, Natalya picked up the win when she applied the sharpshooter onto Zayda Steel. Now, I don't know if that's going to cause a problem, but I hope, Kali Armstrong shows some respect to Natalya, who, of course, many people can say she's the GOAT in the women's division, but we'll see how things roll up. Now, meanwhile, our Prime Minister of Evolve was having a nice chat with Sean Legacy, who was accompanied by Timothy Thatcher. Now, as I said, we have a brand new Evolve Men's Champion, which is Jackson Drake. So Sean Legacy, as you know, many people say he should be the face of Evolve. Well, he wants to have a crack at that of the championship, but however, Stevie Turner was telling him that there's many people who are already lining up. However, Sean Legacy made a very daring move, but I think Timothy Thatcher's saying that he has no idea what he was getting himself into. If you don't know what I mean, he said that he will put himself in a gauntlet match against the members of Vanity Project, which is, of course, Jackson Drake's buddies. So, of course, Stevie Turner allowed this. But Timothy Thatcher's like thinking, you must be out of your dang mind, boy. You have no idea what you're getting yourself into. Now, Sean Legacy, I see the desperation. He wants to prove nothing more than prove that people wrong, that he is the right fit for this. So that's always been the case. But we'll get to that at some point. Now, we did see Chuy Martinez talk to, of course, Marcus Mathers and Jordan Oasis, who in fact will be in a WWE ID showcase match. So basically, you know how that is between them. Talking, trash, why they needed for this, the whole thing. But we'll get to that. Now, as you probably know, in recent weeks there have been a string of attacks in the women's locker room. However, Mason Holiday and Layla Diggs are kind of addressing, you can say, the elephant in the room about that. However, it seems that everybody are putting the primary suspect on Zara Zakher. Now, of course, Zachary, we haven't seen her for quite some time. We don't know where she's been. But of course, Kendall Gray hasn't forgotten what happened to her best friend, Carly Bright, who in fact got injured because of this. But Zara Zachary pleaded her case, saying, I had nothing to do with these attacks. So she decided to put herself in a match next week against, of course, Kendall Gray. So we'll see how things will roll up from there. Now let's jump into our WWE ID showcase. Marcus Mathers and Jordan Oasis. Now, for those who don't know what this is, the WWE ID showcase, these are wrestlers who are part of the WWE ID prospect program, where already they're having their eyes set on them, and they could potentially, be signed with WWE maybe sooner or maybe a little later. So that's how the whole thing works. But Marcus Mathers is facing a guy who's a bit more bigger, but he was able to overcome every obstacle that was thrown at him. Then he applied a 450 splash, and just like that, it was over. And of course, Marcus Mathers and Jordan Oasis actually show some respect, but however, Keanu Carver shows up, and Jordan pushed Marcus Mathers out of the way. Now, I'm sure some of you may ask, why did he attack these two men? Why would Keanu Carver do that? Well, I can tell you that he's a bit bitter. He's a little pissed off that he did not win this match to become the first ever Evolve Men's Champion, but that's how it is, so we'll see where that goes from there. Now, there was a video promo by Kylie Ray. As you know, this time, her feud towards Wendy Chu is not done yet. So, next week, there will be a last woman standing taking place next week. So, basically, this could be like the final chapter between these two. So, we'll see where that goes from there, but I'm looking forward to it, so stay tuned. Now, let's jump into our main event. This is the Gauntlet match, Shawn Legacy versus the Vanity Project. First, he faced off against Ricky Smokes. Now, of course, Shawn Legacy has to have eyes in the back of his head, but however, at some points of this match, he was losing a bit of his energy because of the leg, but he was able to apply the, shambles onto Ricky Smokes and picked up the win. Then we had Brad Taylor. Now, Taylor, of course, was trying to wear him down. That's exactly what he did. But he failed miserably when, of course, there was a small package, and just like that, 1, 2, 3 is over. But however, Bryce Donovan showed up and kicked Shawn Legacy right in the face, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Donovan wins. Basically, Shawn Legacy doesn't get a title shot. However, of course, once again, there was the beatdown coming on Legacy, and Vanity Project are making their statement that they are the ones who are going to run the entire Evolve program. But however, Lince Dorado has not forgotten the last time he had to deal with these guys. And then, of course, he did state that he wasn't alone, and surprise, surprise, he brought in, of course, LWO. So this is something I don't think Vanity Project did not anticipate. So that's going to be interesting. I wouldn't be surprised that Lince Dorado represents LWO and Evolve, so that's pretty much what we can expect. But as of right now, I think we are done with, of course, with WWE Evolve. Let's move on with our last and final review, AEW Grand Slam Mexico. Okay, our last review, AEW Grand Slam Mexico. This is something, of course, everybody's been expecting, and they were at Arena Mexico, which is a legendary venue. Many of you guys who may not be aware of this, this is a venue, of course, where CML house their shows in Mexico City. It's big and it's awesome and perfect for wrestling shows. So this is where they actually had their much recent event. So it opened up, of course, with Hangman Page doing a promo, greeting the fans and talking to fans in Spanish. But he did apologize to inform them that his Spanish may not be good as he thought. But what he talked about, of course, how he said growing up in the farm, there used to be guys who are, of course, Hispanics who come to his family's farm and they work there. And he said that he learned a lot from them, about working together. And that's what he felt out now with, of course, with AEW and CML working together to change the world. And that's something I think many fans will love to see. But he also addressed, of course, that he will be facing Jon Moxley, at All In. But however, of course, he's not involved in the main event match that Jon Moxley's in. But he did stated that no one said that he cannot appear right after it. So basically, he just told him that he's going to give him a whoop ass. So you probably can guess that in Spanish. So let's jump in, of course, with our first match of the night. Let's begin with Dax Harwood, Volador Jr., Kyle Fletcher, Konosuke Takeshita, Hichiro, Josh Alexander, and Lance Archer. They take on Bandito, Templario, Atlantis Jr., Brody King, Daniel Garcia, and our TNT champion Adam Cole. So basically, this is a 14-man tag team match. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. How in the hell does a referee can handle it? Guys, trust me, you wouldn't expect it. I mean, CML do these type of matches all the time. I asked myself that question countless times. I'm saying either they're good or they just got used to it. But you probably know certain aspects that was going to happen in this match. I mean, of course, Atlantis Jr. had to deal with, of course, with FTR. But even though Dax was there, not, of course, Cash Wheeler. And, of course, we know that Fletcher has sights set on the TNT Championship and many other things as well. But this match ended with, of course, with Atlantis being the legend that he is. He picked up the win when he applied an inside cradle onto Dax Hardwood. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Our next match, we have Mark Briscoe versus Konosuke Takeshita. Now, this match came about because, of course, Mark Briscoe is good friends with Kenny Omega. He decided to step into this match due to the fact to get even to to Okada for what he did to him this last week. If you guys remember, of course, he got hit right in the stomach thanks to that snake of the grass, Don Callis. Not to mention that piece of garbage was there too. So you probably can guess. But however, Mark Briscoe put up a fight, but not enough to stop the Rainmaker until he applied the Rainmaker. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Our next match, we have MJF versus Mystico. Now, as you probably know, MJF thinks that Mystico, he is not one of the best wrestlers in the world. Because A, he thinks that a guy like him from Mexico should not be at the top of the food chain. So that's what he was there for. But however, Mystico had withstand everything that was thrown at him. Not to mention, the Hurt Syndicate was there trying to make sure to even the odds. Nothing worked in MJF's favor until he realized the only way is to hurt him some more by disqualifying himself by giving him a low blow right in front of the ref. And then, of course, the Hurt Syndicate decided to hurt him some more until, of course, we did see Bandito, Templario, and Titan to the rescue until, of course, Lashley and and Benjamin were attacked from behind from Kevin Knight and Mike Bailey. So you probably guess how that's going to go. And of course, they did brought in an extra mask to Mystico because MJF removed it. So you guys can guess how that was going to roll up. Now, our next match, this is a 4 million pesos high-flying match. Now, for that, it's like $230-something thousand. So pesos is the name of the currency down in Mexico, if anybody asks. So we have Ricochet versus Hologram versus Lio Rush versus Máscara Dorada. Now, Ricochet, we all know, we have admit that he has been unsuccessful in these matches. But however, we did see Ricochet and Lio Rush teaming up. So did we saw with Hologram and Máscara Dorada. But of course, you know how these type of matches are. The alliances do not last until it's the last two. And that ended up with, of course, Hologram and Máscara Dorada until Hologram applied the portal bomb onto Máscara Dorada. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, he wins the 4 million pesos. And just like that, it was over. Our next match, we have the CML Women's World Championship on the line. Zeuxis defends her championship against the belt collector, of course, Mercedes Moné. As you know, she has many belts in her possession, and this is no different. But of course, you know, Zeuxis is someone who you don't turn your back on. You don't. You have to stay on your toes. But however, somehow, some way, Mercedes Moné was able to dodge or counter one of her moves in order to pick up the win by pinfall. 1, 2, 3, just like that. She has another belt in her collection. But however, Toni Storm showed up. Well, there was a video of her in the Titantron, like a vignette, until Mina Shirakawa told her, "Hi," And then all of a sudden, of course, we did see um, Tony Storm attacked Mercedes Moné. So the real question is the pressure on Mercedes Moné? Some of you would say, hell no, she's not under pressure. She thinks she has under control. Others say, well, she is under pressure. So we'll see how things will get until we arrive in All In. Now, our main event, we have Will Ospreay, the Ops, Katsuyori Shibata, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Samoa Joe teaming up with Swerve Strickland, taking on Beast Mortos, the Death Riders, Rila Yuta, and John Moxley, being accompanied by Marina Shafir, and they team up with the Young Bucks. So you probably guessed there was going to be a lot of carnage coming from this one, not to mention some things that took place between everybody involved. But, however, this match ended with thanks a lot to Marina Shafir distracting the referee, giving John Moxley to roll up Swerve, and just 1, 2, 3, it was over. And then, of course, a classic Death Rider beatdown until Hangman Page showed up. Now, Hangman had John Moxley right where he wanted until, of course, Hangman applied the buckshot lariat onto Matt Jackson. And, of course, Hangman warned them to stay out of his business. So the real question is, are they backing down? Well, we'll see how that holds. But I wouldn't be surprised if Hangman gets himself into hot water with the Bucks. So that's something we will pay attention very, very, very closely. So I think that's pretty much it. What happened with, of course, in AEW Grand Slam Mexico. So that's pretty much it. Let's move on to our last and final thing, of course, is news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news update. So let's begin as always with upcoming events. We will have 2 updates from that category. The first one, as you know, on the 20th of June, they will be in Little Rock, Arkansas for Banging in Little Rock. We have Sam Stackhouse will be appearing. So that's going to be interesting. And Sam, if you can hear me, hope you beat up Fuego after what he did to you. So that's it. Now, finally, Deadlock Pro Wrestling has their annual Tag Fest taking place on July 13th, which is interesting. So this is their 3rd annual. Not yet announced who will be participating, but as soon as we get closer, we'll let you guys know. Now, let's move on, of course, with some developments, starting with the Fightful Select report. Now, Britt Baker, many of you have been hearing rumors, speculation that she'll be leaving AEW. Well, Fightful reports that she is still under contract with AEW and is not currently bound with WWE as we speak. Now, I know some of you are thinking that's a whole load of crap. There's no way. She is leaving. Now, Fightful Select has always been on top of everything to find out whatever they knew. So if they're saying that she's not done with AEW, then that's it is. But I'm sure there'll be more updates on that real soon, but we'll see. Now, finally, on the Fightful Select report, Gail Kim has been reported that she was in the backstage of NXT. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if WWE are planning to hire back. We know that AEW Jim Ross has a sight set of having her join AEW. He said he would even vouch for her for Tony Khan. So we don't know yet what's the scenario if she's going to take a job with NXT. I think some of you would say she's better off with NXT. Yeah, then maybe so, guys. But you got to remember, Gail Kim did not get the full recognition that she deserved back in WWE. They never treated her like if she was a wrestler. Like, I remember the stories she talked about how they put her into one of those bras and panties matches she was never fond of. But we'll see how things will go from there. Now, many of you knew this already. Elayna Black, formerly known as Cora Jade, well, she confirmed that she's been hustling with OnlyFans and has been paying her off ever since she was released from WWE. Yeah, that's what she's saying, coming from the horse's mouth. So I don't know if any of you guys follow her on her OnlyFans, but yeah, just letting you guys know. We want to give congratulations to Johnny Hungy, also known as John Silver. He is currently now engaged with his now fiancee Denise, who has been his partner. I've seen photos of her in his social media, most specifically in Instagram. So congratulations, Johnny Hungy. Hope we can see some wedding photos. Now onto the Marigold updates here on developments. Apparently, Ryoko Sakimura will be out for a while due to uh, pro- uh, poor health. It's nothing serious. Basically, she is having illness, and it's something not that bad. In case anybody asks, it's been known to happen many times in the Japanese wrestling scene, but she'll be 100%. However, she's not the only one that will be out of action too. They announced, of course, from Marigold that Natsumi Shozuki will be out due to the fact that she has dislocated her right shoulder. One of her joints was off, so most likely, however, it was also reported because of the injury, she's going to have to miss out on the upcoming round robin tournament, the Dreamstar Grand Prix, so which is a bummer. So most likely she'll miss out the rest of the year or so. But if there's any change, I'll let you guys know when more information has come around. I'll keep moving on more with developments. Well, as you know, WWE will be doing a Super Show in Mexico, and they just left a statement on that. So let me pull it up real quick for all of you so I can read it involving that. Here it is. This is what they said. WWE Super Show Mexico heads to Mexico City on Saturday, July 6th, and in Monterrey on Sunday, July 27th. Tickets on sale this Thursday, June 19th at 10 a.m. Central. This was written on June 16, 2025. WWE, part of TKO Group Holdings, to announce a return to Mexico City this July at Arena Ciudad Mexico, Mexico City, on Saturday, July 26th, and Arena Monterrey at Monterrey on Sunday, July 27th. These are marks only for WWE events taking place in Mexico in 2025. Fans attended the WWE Super Show. Mexico will see their favorite WWE superstars from both Raw and SmackDown in action, including Penta, Rey Fenix, International Champion Dominic Mysterio, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso. Well, he lost the belt. United States Champion Jacob Fatu, Gunther, Stephanie Vickier, the WWE Tag Team Champions New Day, and more. And the event also will feature luchadores from AAA, including Pagano, Psycho Clown, and Mr. Iguana. Tickets and Superstar meet and greet packages will be going on sale Thursday, June 19th, which is next tomorrow, at 10 a.m. Central via www.superboletos.com. For more information, visit www.com/events. So that's pretty much it for that. And finally, Mina Shirakawa did a very interesting interview she had. Now, some of you remember when she debuted on Dynamite, they talked about her music. Remember, she had a different type, but as soon as her match was over, it switched up to, of course, her much familiarized theme song that we know already. So this is what she said about it. Returning to AEW, I wanted to change something. My friend made a new song, and I love the track, but maybe my fans prefer the old one because it's very iconic. After the match, I asked Tony, so my music, what happened? He said that he loved the old one. Of course, everybody loves the old one. I mean, that's what made her a star. I mean, many of you guys would agree with that, right? I mean, if you agree with that, leave a comment down below. And she even talked about, of course, her parents. Now, for those who follow her, I remember before she gone WWE, her father never was a big fan of the idea of her becoming a pro wrestler. So basically, they never actually visited. I remember she even invited her dad in her winner take all match for the white belt and red belt, which was very interesting. But of course, someone did mention that he thought that she saw her father in that match, but Mina kind of, fact check, telling him that the only person who came to watch was in fact her uncle. So I mean, I understand that she wants to make her family proud, and you got to remember she did mention that she is in fact came from a very strict family. So when she made the decision, she had to move out of the house. You know how that is, folks. If you're gonna do something that is against the family's wishes, then you have to go on your own and do it on your own without the support. And I'm sure Mina has struggled a lot, but I'm sure she is happy where she's going, and she hopes that her dad gets the chance to see her. So we'll see how things will go from there. But as of right now, we are officially done with everything, so let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, as you probably know right about now, we continue with more with New Japan, with New Japan Soul. More things are going to happen in this one. I can't wait to see it. We do have TNA and, of course, Ring of Honor. So we're going to make those as the three main focus. Now, I'm still behind a bit on the Yoshi wrestling scene and some other events, so I'll catch up with those as soon enough. But right now, the priority is these three: New Japan, TNA, and, of course, Ring of Honor. So stay tuned for that. If there's any other news updates that I might do separately away from the episode, I will definitely put that. So we'll see how things will go from there. But as of right now, that's pretty much it what we have. So it's time for me to say that I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang.